It was the morning after a surprise rainstorm. Everything was soaked, and I was worn out. This morning I woke up, let myself sleep in till about 7:30. Normally I've been getting up at 6, but I've been exhausted. So I got up, had some breakfast, and then I took a nap till about 10. And then I hung out with Smokemaster for a while. We're getting a really late start this morning. We're planning to leave at noon, but I think that's okay because we've been going like 20 miles in a day, so we're taking kind of an on-trail Nero to rest up. We're both running on empty. We deserve a slow morning. Ain't that right, Smoke?
We do.
It's after 1, I'm just now leaving, and I have no regrets. I'm feeling so amazing this morning. Yes, it's because I'm well rested, and also I'm walking downhill. It's not as muddy and rocky as usual. It's beautiful weather, and with my little on-trail Nero day, I looked at the map, wrote down some distances between things, and then thought, okay, we know the Whites and southern Maine are going to be really hard. So let's say if we walk 13 miles on average, now that is including 0 days, bear in mind, so it's mostly going to be not 13, but bigger than that, the 0 days are going to even it out to 13. Anyway, an average of 13 days when it's not really hard terrain. An average of 10 when it is the Whites or southern Maine. And if we do that, then we'll finish on September 22nd. I did that math this morning, and it's really made me stress less, because on one hand, I don't want to finish in the freezing cold. I don't want to be cutting it close to them closing Baxter State Park because of snow. On the other hand, I also don't want to push myself and do huge miles, hard days if it's not necessary. Having that figured out just put my mind so much at ease. It's going to be a really good rest of the trail, I think, now that I have an idea of what I'm doing. we hitched to a deli and I got a sandwich. It's beautiful.
Of course.
Enjoyed the sandwich, enjoyed the ice cream, but now it's 8 o'clock and we have to walk a mile back to the trail and then a mile uphill to the shelter. But it was worth it. That's how life goes on the AT. And just when I thought, maybe if we only walk 8 miles today, we'll get to camp when the sun's still out. What are you gonna do, folks? What are you gonna do? Even though yesterday was restful and fun, until we couldn't get a hitch and had to set up camp in the dark, I didn't sleep well. I feel just as tired as ever, just as frustrated as ever. And I'm telling myself, you're not going to be on the AT forever. And you're in a really cool section too. And it's just not working. I feel so tired that I feel empty. Talking to my mom on my birthday and she was like, can you even wrap your head around the fact that you've gone 1,600 miles? And I was like, no, I guess not. Because to me, it's just, when you pass that marker, it's like, well, it's about time. It feels like I've gone that far. And in day to day, it's just your workload in front of you, you know? You're making progress, but it doesn't really feel as rewarding as you would think. It's just hard to keep in mind, like, this is going to be a really huge event in my life. Right now, it's just the day-to-day. We're sitting in the bright sun because that's where you're most likely to avoid the mosquitoes. And I made us some coffee because both of our morales are down and maybe this will be the boost we need. That did the trick. As much as sitting down and taking time gets me behind schedule, I'm feeling so much happier. It's gonna be okay. More and more, I think I need to create moments of joy, and that was one of them. For anyone familiar with Polish cuisine, do you think these look like pierogies? They're mushrooms, but don't they look like it? I'm just walking up. Oh, here's my pal Smoke Master. What's on that tree? Katahdin, 500 miles. How do you feel?
500 more miles of this adventure. Feels sad. I don't want it to end. As much as I want it to end, I don't want it to end at the same time, if that makes sense.
This audience is definitely used to things not making sense. I feel the same. I don't want it to end, but at the same time, I'm so tuckered out. But at the same time, I'm so proud. If only there weren't these mosquitoes in our faces. This is incredible. All right, getting started with the climb of the day, Mount Killington. It looks really steep. So far, it is a very rocky dirt road. Behind us, mostly deciduous, aka leafy trees. In front of us, mostly pine trees. Very cool thing to notice. I'm about a mile from the summit and it's flattened out, but I'm going so slow because I'm so hungry. I cannot wait to eat more. I'm really behind schedule of where I hope to be by now, but what are you gonna do? I'm heading down from Killington Peak now. Beautiful view. I think that was one of the best we've had since Max Patch. We wanted to push on because we've only done like 11 miles today and because that shelter is leaky, apparently. And looking at it, I could see why. It is somewhat light outside, and here is the shelter past this sign. One time this week, we got to camp and it was still light out. It's been a week of big miles and big emotions, but I'm on the other side of it now. Let's talk about what made this week unique. As far as what I noticed about the landscape and the season changing landscape, easy. It's getting more and more like the place I am right now. I notice especially when you go up in elevation, it's the pine trees, scientific word coniferous trees, these things. The ferns, moss, stuff like that. Still plenty of berries, plenty of mushrooms. As far as the season though, let's see. The summer is sort of tapering off. It's definitely not as hot as it used to be. Definitely not as buggy as it used to be, but still like shorts and t-shirt weather, and you still have to have bug spray with you because they're around even though they aren't as bad as they used to be. It's actually, a lot of schools have gone back in session this week. So personally, I noticed less people on trail, but that could also be that there's just less people on trail for other reasons. The common experience with the other northbound AT hikers that I've been hiking around, everyone was really slowed down by the mud. Not really slowed down, I'd say, but it's definitely a hindrance. You get your feet wet, you slip and slide. It's annoying. The storms too, it rained twice I think this week, and every time people were really like, this again? Having to dry out your clothes and everything one more time. We're also crossing paths with people doing the long trail, so that's interesting. The southbound AT hikers are still coming through too, but it's also interesting to talk to long trail people that are doing Vermont's long trail. That's the name of it. It's not a long trail, that's the name, the long trail. It's cool because you see people at the beginning of their journey or people on a through hike, but they're not going for months and months. It's interesting. They've been pretty nice so far. I also have noticed people going faster, it seems to me, because the finish line is in sight. You're seeing it, you're thinking about it. It's not crunch time yet, but it's still like, we know the whites are going to be really hard, and we know Southern Maine is going to be really hard, so let's get as many miles under our belt before we hit those. That kind of attitude. My favorite part of the week, it has been kind of a rough week. It was hard to think of, but my birthday, the end of my birthday didn't go as planned. My emotions are going haywire these days. It really wasn't as bad as it seemed in the moment, of course, but the morning was pretty nice. Well, I guess I had a headache. First thing in the morning, that was not fun. But when we were in the hotel and we were just kind of chilling in the common room, there was so much food that we got at the grocery store the day before, and it was just so nice to relax. The problem I said I'd work on last week was keeping my cool, being chill, even when times got hard. Of course, I did not do that, but that's okay. I remember when I did my road trip of the lower 48 states, one of the things I learned from that was you can be happy, content, okay with life, and going through rough times, not the best, wish things were different at the same time. So what I'm thinking for next week, my goal should be is to make moments of happiness happen. Like this morning when we were sitting on the road drinking coffee, maybe I can aim to watch a sunset at a really cool place. Maybe I can get really excited for a good dinner. I don't know. Just little things like that. I'm not going to be able to be the chill, cool girl that never gets upset. But I think I can also make fun times happen in addition to the hard times, and my experience is going to be better because of that. And that also already answers the question, what did I learn this week? Because I learned I'm really, really tired. I'm going through something hard. Trying to make myself be positive all the time isn't gonna happen. It's been a beautiful week, and even though things are getting hard, I know they're about to be more epic, more beautiful, and I just can't wait to see what the rest of the trail has in store. Thank you for experiencing this with me. Hope you'll come back next week.